This is a nice example of a horary because it saved me quite uh, some money. I was trying to study again charts for football matches, and I was opening different matches and trying to spot matches in which the underdog had a good chance of winning. And in short, I was trying to go back to studying this kind of thing, and I stumbled across this game. Botafogo and Bangu were going to play to see who would be the Carioca champion. And of course, for it's not obvious for you if you're not into Brazilian football, but if you are, Botafogo was heavily favored, very, very favored in the odds of any betting house. And the chart for the match was ambiguous. But, as I said, I was starting to study it again, so I was rusty, out of practice. So I was not entirely sure if the chart was ambiguous or if I wasn't seeing it correctly, wasn't judging it correctly. But it seemed to me that the chart could mean Bangu had a chance. And I briefly thought about betting, and the question popped in my mind. Should I? Should I bet on Bangu? Because they were paying very, very well. And so I cast the chart. I am Venus in this chart. The betting house is Mars. My money, what I have, is Mercury. The house's money, what I want to get, is Jupiter. And I'm also the moon, right? Because the moon co-signifies the current, and we don't have anything else to signify it. We don't need her to signify anything else, I'm sorry. So at first, it is a yes, because there is an aspect between the betting house's money and my money. Mercury will make a trine to Jupiter. And second of all, the moon will hit first Jupiter and then Mercury. It will translate the light between Mercury and Jupiter. It's a double yes. So, I should bet on Bangu, right? Wait. Don't be so fast. First, although these weird things are not very important in horary, it's very hard not to notice Uranus right on the ascendant. What can it mean? Maybe it means it's not a good idea. Maybe it means I'm just, as Uranus is the sky god, the sky of all possibilities, and I'm thinking too much of weird possibilities that are not going to become real. I don't know. The second thing that caught my eye, and again, it has nothing to do directly with the aspect, as Uranus doesn't, is this Mars on the 10th cusp. If you try to study how to judge this kind of charts, you won't see anyone talking about Mars on the midheaven, because or the 7th house ruler on the midheaven. It doesn't influence the answer usually, but it's them so damn close to the midheaven cusp, to the 10th cusp, to the midheaven, that it also caught my eye. It's not a good sign for my enemy to be so powerful and so evident. It is a sign that I'm going to lose. So this also made me think, maybe. The third thing that made me think it would not be a good idea to bet on Bangu was the fact that my money is combust. Yes, the question, the chart, the sky doesn't have to tell me how much money I have. So it's not that. And if I didn't have any money, I wouldn't ask about betting. So I knew I had money to bet, and the sky, of course, knew, and it didn't have to tell me a thing that we both knew. So what's happening here? Well, Mercury is retrograde in its fall, in its detriment, and combust. How much power does it have? Absolutely none. It's the weakest Mercury could have. Okay, it's in the 10th house, but come on. It's in the worst sign by far. It's retrograde and it's combust. So I would doubt that this Mercury has the strength to do anything. So I don't think this trine, although it's a beautiful trine, would work. I didn't think it would work. But what about the moon? The moon translates the light between Mercury and Jupiter. It could work, right? Yes, it could, if the moon was not in her fall and in the 6th house, translating the light between this Mercury and Jupiter. I doubted that any of them, Mercury or the moon, had the strength to pull it out. Especially because this was a very high paying bet. It was not something that would, if I bet $10, I would receive my $10 more, five more dollars, or something like that. It was a very high reward bet. So we would expect a chart with things clearer, a clearer chart with less ambiguities. So I decided not to bet, and Bangu lost. Botafogo won 3-1 this match. So it's sad, but I kept my money. And that's it. Thank you for watching.